Police in Paris used tear gas to force hundreds of homeless asylum seekers off the city streets Monday evening. 500 blue tents had been erected around République, with hundreds of people, mostly from Afghanistan, planning to sleep there after being moved on from a bigger camp on the outskirts of the French capital last week. The removal on Monday night was done violently, with the Minister of the Interior asking for a report on exactly what took place. Well, we can speak now to a coordinator at the NGO Utopia 56, Nikolaï Posner. Mr. Posner, you were present when the police moved in at Place de la République in central Paris on Monday evening. Tell us a bit what you saw happen.
Yeah, so you have to know that this action is following what happened last week and the eviction of the camp in Saint-Denis, the really violent eviction from the French police. So they tried to make their situation, their people, invisible. And what we tried yesterday is to stand beside those people to make this situation visible again, because they are, of course, not ghosts, and every night they are sleeping in the street trying to find a place to sleep. So yesterday we were standing there with representative of the state and the city, with medias, with lawyers, trying again to press the prefecture to find shelters for all those people, and then to install a real asylum process and hosting in France. So yesterday we have been attacked once again very violently by all the police, and this can't keep up, can't continue. This is happening now since years, and we have to make pressure on the situation for it to change.
We did see scuffles and that violence as they pulled down the tents. But what happened in the aftermath? I mean, there was hundreds of asylum seekers sleeping rough on the streets. What happened afterwards? Were they simply dispersed, or were they given at least emergency shelter?
No. Once again, as it was promised last week also on the evacuation, they of course didn't give any solution. The only solution that was offered was violence. So we were tracked down all over Paris until yesterday 1 in the morning. And then our teams were doing roundups with cars trying to distribute food and some blankets. But the people had to find a place to hide.
Okay, so dispersed in smaller numbers across the city, but still sleeping rough. Can you tell me a bit more about where these people are coming from?
So most of the people of yesterday are coming from Afghanistan, Somalia, Eritrea. Well, it's mostly the nationalities that are at the moment are trying to find peace and a refuge in France. But as you maybe know, in Paris we don't have a proper hosting, welcoming system. You have to go through the street. And at the moment, those people in the camp last week were there for them since few years, some since few months. And again, we refuse to install a process that would be really dignifying for the people.
If a solution was offered even outside of the capital, do you think that that is an opportunity? You know, many say that accommodation in the capital is so sought after. In any case, the solution mightn't be exactly in the city, but is there maybe a solution further afield in France? Is that being worked on? Would that be an option?
Well, that's on the long term, of course, an option. And today the system is very local. And yes, I think it would be a perfect option to actually distribute through the country. But for now, what we're actually asking is a direct solution for those 800 people just ghosting inside the city every night, being tracked down by the police.
And as you say, we do see this cycle, if you like, happen quite regularly, where camps set up and then they're moved on. Have you seen a change in attitude from the authorities or the police, though, in recent years?
Well, in recent years, it's actually going worse and worse because, well, the main strategy behind is to make the situation unbearable for the people, for them to not come. But this, we know, that is clearly not a solution. The actual only solution for the country is solidarity, and try to bring those people in a situation where they will be able to work with us and to integrate and to participate as they all ask to be.
Of course, needing the authorities to provide the accommodation and the means, but give us an idea of how French people themselves are reacting. Is there solidarity on that level?
Well, today, after the action of today, it seems that we have a lot of support from the people, yes. Then on a larger scale, well, this is huge problematic that we are all working on. But if there is one thing that I'm sure of, is that it's the only answer to take care of the people and to give them a safe place to be.
Very briefly to end with, can you just give me an idea of the age groups we're seeing? We have in the past seen families and very young people among those having to live on the street.
Yeah. So at the moment, we still have every night, families living in the street, minors still living in the street, being refused as minors in France. But yesterday, we were mostly on a young population around, well, 28 to 40 probably.
Okay, Nikolaï Posner, we're going to have to leave it there, but thanks for coming on air and telling us more about what took place in the centre of Paris on Monday evening. Nikolaï Posner there of Utopia 56.